All right, happy Tuesday night, everybody. Tuesday's best around Raiderland. We had problems loading the website today. We apologize. We ought to be back up, I think, fully functional tonight, tomorrow for sure. But I apologize for that earlier today. We're doing the best we can with what we got. It is Tuesday, Tuesday's best today. Here are the two players you want in the Ring of Honor at Texas Tech football now that they've announced the latest class. Wes Welker, Andre Tillman, Thomas Howard. Who do you want in on that? We got that tonight. We got College World Series. We can update on that. Get your thoughts on that. Wait, we don't have to call it the Men's College World Series. We can tell that it's men playing. At least I think I can. That it's men playing baseball and it's women playing softball. We don't have to have the whole thing. Anyhow, and then we got some thoughts on the fires in Ruidoso and already the politicization of said fires. And a lot of not misinformation, but I think in the fog of war, you get a lot of stuff coming out. And I would caution people, if you have property up there, everything else, be very careful what you read, believe, hear, or otherwise, because just wait. Just wait. And hopefully things are going to be good for everybody who's got property up there for the most part. All right, so let's do it in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com, coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios. We want your air to be Arctic. We want you to call the bear if it's not. Now, even if your air is fine, hey, maybe you are in the the realm of maybe thinking, I got to get a new AC unit. I don't know if it's going to make the summer. Give them a call. They'll come out, they'll look at it, and they'll shoot you straight and tell you, hey, it's good, it's not good. Do what you want to do. They're not going to grab your wallet and everything, but they'll tell you the truth about where you are. You make your own decision. All right. Thank you, Arctic Air, for being the great sponsors of the studio, which is really nice. Brought to you by the Shropshire Agency in Lubbock, Texas. Independent, just like West Texans. Find out what they can do for you after 65 plus years of service in Lubbock and West Texas as independent agents. They're on your side, no single company's side. South Plains College, I saw a deal today. We linked to it on the Facebook page, I think. Culinary arts, you take classes. Like me and my wife could go take classes and stuff, and I thought it was kind of cool. You don't have to be, just getting your undergrad or what do we call it, associate's degree. They do so much over there for continuing education that I invite you to check out what they're doing at South Plains College. The road to Raiderland runs through Levelland. So many great Red Raiders started off as great Texans. United Supermarkets, already James, Joe, our Facebook people chime in. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, you guys can get in as well tonight. Thanks to United Supermarkets. Now, not only did they sponsor the channel, they have just amazing, great stuff at their stores, cool stuff. I was walking by last night. Was it last night or the night before? I can't remember which. And I was going by, where they got all the fish and everything, and they were, like steaming up fish for people. I'm like, how cool is it that you can be in West Texas? Dead ass West Texas. Ain't no salmon around here. Ain't nothing cool like that. And you can get that at Market Street, and they steam it and they season it and they do that. You take it home and you eat it. Thank you, Market Street, United Supermarkets. Food City, 1 money saving mile outside the West Loop, our official Western wear providers. I need new boots. Hey, Cody, you listen, Cody? Food City, need new boots. Well, where do we want to start tonight? Last time we talked about the Ring of Honor and the idea of, do you want it really inclusive or exclusive? I fear it is turning into the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Honor extended. That it's just, okay, if you're in that, then you're going to be in the Ring of Honor in football. I hope that's not the case. I get the feeling that's kind of the case. So I asked tonight, who should be in next? Who should be in next after the class that is in right now? Who do you think ought to be in? Who's in right now? Donnie Anderson, E.J. Hall, David Parks, Dave Parks, Gabe Rivera, Zach Thomas, Michael Crabtree, Elmer Tarbox, the great, Patrick Mahomes, Thomas Howard, Andre Tillman, Wes Welker. That's who's in right now. Who should be in next? You get 2 votes, Tuesday's best. Who are the 2 that should be in next in the Ring of Honor? And we're just going to assume for now they're all in the Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor. The fake Natalie Mays. Well. So Mark Adams runs his mouth about known domestic abuser Chris Beard, and conveniently they kiss and make up and now coaching together in Oxford. David Collier reporting KMAC 28 Red Raider Nation, according to sources, that after a year at East Carolina University as an assistant, Mark Adams will be joining the staff along with 7 former Tech employees in Oxford with Chris Beard. Birds of a feather flocking together. I wish them well. Good luck. We'll see how it turns out. Rarely do you get the whole band back together and it all works out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in Ole Miss. There were a lot of people talking this past spring that were not pleased with Chris Beard in Oxford. Apparently he was casting eyes, according to reports, at other places, and they were shocked that he was not, looking to stay in Oxford forever. We'll see. You got to win. If they don't win, it won't matter. But yeah, big shocker there. Big shocker there. Mark Adams and Chris Beard back together again. The birds of feathers flocking together. Now we have, and we'll go tonight. We'll get a lot of folks in early, early arrivals. You can give us, thumbs up, hearts. Let us know the audio is good. We ask you to share this on Twitter, on Facebook, and everything else. We got our Twitter people popping in now. We got our Facebook people popping in. We need our YouTube crew. Our YouTube crew, you guys need jumping as well, thanks to United Supermarkets. Give us the top 2 players you think should be in the Ring of Honor now for Tech football that aren't in. Jacob is on the old Twitter machine. Tracy saw Byron Hanspard, and he says it is clear NFL plays a role in criteria. I think it's obvious that NFL has played a role in 2 selections so far: Patrick Mahomes and Wes Welker. 100%. You have to remember, we said this last night, the Ring of Honor serves 2 functions. Both can be true at the same time: to honor Texas Tech former players and be a marketing tool and to get people to go to games. They wanted people to go to a game to see Patrick Mahomes. They put him in the Ring of Honor. They struck while the iron was hot. They put him in at the height of his NFL popularity, give or take, whatever. Never mind, never on an All-American team. Teams were not that good. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Now, all the other guys, All-Americans, everything else, but doesn't matter. So it's a marketing deal. Same thing with Wes Welker. If you put Thomas Howard in and Andre Tillman in and you celebrate them next fall, you don't sell a single extra ticket, probably. Probably. So we understand the game, and Jacob is right. It is clear NFL plays a role in criteria. Tracy Saul will forever be the last 4-time All-Southwest Conference performer. In fact, there are only 2. Can anyone tell me the other 4-time All-Southwest Conference performer was in football? I'll let you guys jump in there, and I've mentioned it before. Hopefully you guys are paying attention. Hanspard's interesting. I would not have him in my next 2. I would have him in the next, maybe 10 years or so. I've got a lot more that I would put in before Hanspard. And Hanspard had a great elite year in a very good career. James, does Spike get a nod for Ring of Honor? Man, it's really hard to do Spike if you don't have Pete Cawthon. And when you go to look at the Tech coaches, the 3, well, I guess you say 4 if you want to do Jim Carlin, but a much shorter time frame in the early 70s, but with some really good teams. It would be Cawthon, it would be Spike, and you'd be looking at Mike, and they're all real close on different, obviously 2 vastly different eras, with what Cawthon did in the 30s, and then Spike in the 80s and 90s, and Mike in the 2000s. Or South Lake Carroll great. Dane Johnson should be at least in the Hall of Fame. I believe he is. I don't have it in front of me, but I think Dane Johnson is. I think he's in the Hall of Fame. Maybe not. Great punt returner, good DB. Joe chiming in from the wilds of Alabama. That's my cousin from another cousin from another cousin. Rodney Allison. He was at Southern Miss, head coach at Chattanooga. And I have Allison high on the list of guys who aren't in there. He had a great 76 season, a Heisman Trophy candidate in 77. Ankle broke by A&M, third game of the season. Came back, still finished. Couldn't get it going, lost to Florida State. And Bobby Bowden won his first bowl game at Florida State, beating Tech in the 77 Tangerine Bowl. I believe I've got that right. Yeah, I'd have Allison on my list. Allison, we go quarterbacks. Allison would certainly be there. Ron Reeves, I think, should be there. Because, again, to me, I look at the Tech Ring of Honor. It should only be Texas Tech, even though we now know it's you're really cool afterwards and people like you and they'll buy tickets. We'll put you in. Dane Johnson ran the FCA programs at Tech. He's just a nice dude. Him and Saul had really good hair. Ryan Dubisky had great hair too in the late 80s, early 90s, defensive back, but just kind of different. But Dane Johnson, really good hair. If we were having a good hair Hall of Fame, that'd be cool. Twitter's in, YouTube is in. Are we got YouTube in? Yeah, there's D Wayne on YouTube. I think we're getting them all in thanks to United Supermarkets tonight. Tuesday's best. Your two guys that you'd put in next into the Tech Football Ring of Honor, who and why. We've got College World Series to look at. Florida State takes care of UNC today. Took a long time. They've already scrubbed tonight's game, so we're going early tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Now, it's a real CWS. We've got weather. It affects pitching like an accordion. It stretches it out early with the days off in between. And then when we get the weather, all of a sudden, wham, it really compresses pitching. We'll see how it looks tomorrow. 3 games on tap tomorrow. And I will have thoughts on the Ruidoso fires. And I will say this right now, anybody watching, I pray that, one, you're not affected by it. 2, if you are, the best case scenario comes to play. Remember, until something's gone, it's not gone. There's a lot of crazy information that comes out. I hear stuff, I see stuff over the last 24 hours, and I just know it's probably not true. But it gets on social media, it gets out there. So just be cool, hang in there, and hopefully it'll be good for what you're doing. D. Wayne, D. Wayne, good evening. Well, good evening. When I was at school at Tech, I made it to Lower Ruidoso in 3.5 hours one time. Don't ask how fast you went. No, if you don't stop and you're doing about 75, 85, you can 100%, depending on where you're leaving from Lubbock, and I assume you went down to Plains and over to Roswell in that way. It can be done in 3.5. I mean, 4 is kind of the smooth, easy glide, whatever. Now, if you cut back a little bit, there's some side roads you can get over to eastern New Mexico. You can do 3.5. No two ways about it. We'll get into more Beard and Adams maybe tomorrow or as the week goes on. We'll see. We got plenty of time to worry about that. So players that are not in the Tech Ring of Honor that should be in, give us your 2 best on that. That's Tuesday's best tonight. And I love the fact they're putting in Andre Tillman and Thomas Howard. And people, I think, took it wrong yesterday that I don't think Wes Welker should be in. Because I wouldn't put him in right now. It didn't mean I don't think Wes Welker is a great player, anything else. I have a view on the Ring of Honor that is obviously different than Texas Tech's view. Texas Tech has a purpose and a reason for doing the Ring of Honor, and it's twofold. As we've said, drive ticket sales, marketing ploy, get people to come out and honor past greats. There's no wrong answer here. I mean, why do you think the Cowboys have the Ring of Honor? It's a marketing deal, right? Tech SRAM created it as a marketing deal. So don't sit there shocked or whatever and go, it's saying it's marketing. Yeah, it is. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I view it one way. You can view it another way. That's fine. Let's see. Randy's Ole Miss will not bat an eye when it comes to hiring questionable characters. Hugh Freeze, Tommy Tuberville coached there. Tommy Tuberville coached there before he coached at Tech. Be careful where you throw your stones into the glass houses there, Randy. Donald, why is run production higher this year at the it's just the CWS. You don't have to put MCWS. We know they're men. They're playing baseball. Please, can we stop with the MCWI? I've got from 2014. I have a lot of stuff that didn't have MCWS on it, just CWS, and I think that was around 14, 15, 16 when we started to see the shift, and then like 16 and then 18, 19. A lot of stuff has MCWS. No, it's just CWS. It's College World Series. We know they're playing baseball. We don't have to do it. Really, I don't think run production is that much higher this year. I think it's in line with the last 3 years. We have one outlier, and that was that big 12-11 game on Friday night with Tennessee and Florida State to open it up. But everything else, the day games early on have been your 3, 2, 5, 4. We've been unders on every game. Every favorite has won. So you really hadn't seen that huge run production spike that maybe you think you're seeing right now. It's been pretty consistent the last 2, 3 years. The baseball's been the same. The College World Series also is totally dependent upon weather. There is no bigger sporting event probably that we look at that is more affected by weather in park than the College World Series in Omaha. And you've got storms coming in tonight that'll obviously, we're going to nuke the game tonight. We're not going to play till tomorrow. You've had a lot of wind blowing in, but we've only really had one high-scoring game. So it's really not been that high-scoring. D. Wayne rocking back. Ryan, I'm trying to decide which Tech game I should come to experience the new South End Zone improvement. Which game should I come to? Baylor on October 19th? Or? What's your other or? Give me an or. CJ says Allison and Monte Yeager. Monte Yeager is one of my favorite guys. The grandson of Chuck Yeager, little-known Monte Yeager, a slot receiver for Spike Dykes, lining up right there with Field Scoville. You saw Monte Yeager, and Brent Musburger could talk enough about Monte Yeager there in the fall of 1995 when Texas Tech went up to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. And Monte Yeager, he seemingly all over the field that day with Zebby Lethridge firing bullets all around, hitting Monte Yeager. Do I think Florida wins tomorrow? I really like Florida going in to this tournament. They've got so much talent, and they have really begun to scratch it a little bit in the Super Regional. And I thought, we'll see. I don't know. It's a coin toss, James. It's a total coin toss. Daughter was stationed in Omaha. Fake Natalie Maines. Ticket sales lagging that bad for North Texas State, so we needed a Ring of Honor ceremony. Would have been nice for the CU or ASU game. You always do these things for the crap games. That's not like ticket sales are bad. That's when you do these. You don't have to do these things for Texas, for whatever. Now, the only time you do it on something like that is if maybe you've got a recipient who is a Patrick Mahomes or somebody. That's the only time they can get in. But yeah, no, you always do these things to shore up the crap games. That's just smart marketing. That's what you do. He went, Chuck Yeager, the first man to break the sound barrier. That's right. Monte Yeager, the grandson of Chuck Yeager. That's why he ought to be in there. Number 34, Monte Yeager. Incredible athlete for Texas. I believe he's not in. Randy, Peyton Manning said Monte Yeager and Taurus Rugger were the best defensive ends he ever played against. That's how good Monte Yeager was, that he could do that. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess senior when they went up there and played in Knoxville against Tennessee. I just remember being at the first Big 12 Big 12 basketball tournament in March of 1997, and literally, no joke here, So Tech's going to be playing Tennessee in season opener in 1997. So it was a big deal. Was Manning going to come back or not come back? So that day, I'm getting into Kansas City, checking into the Hyatt Regency, downtown Hyatt Regency, Big 12 Media Hotel. Is where we were staying. Jack Dale, the voice of the Red Raiders, had already checked in. Well, the men were about to get beat that night, and we literally crossing in the lobby of the massive lobby of the Hyatt Regency with all the stuff set up and TVs and everything, and we're kind of standing there. And not kind of staying there because I was doing jumping jacks and he was doing push-ups, and we're watching this, feed from ESPN. And the big deal is that Peyton Manning has announced he's going to come back to Tennessee. So we're standing there. I've got my bags checking in. Jack's got his stuff going to the game for the men that night. And Jack, I can't get it right. I'll paraphrase something to the effect of, well, golly, that kind of changes the complexion of that game in August 31st. And they scorched Tech, and that was also the night that Princess Diana was killed. So there you go. Anyhow, just Jack Dale walking through the lobby going, well, that changes the complexion of that game. And it did. Thank you, Peerless Price. Yeah. So, Chuck Yeager's grandson, Monte Yeager, going up against it. D1, wow, small world. I performed at a funeral for Chuck Yeager a few years ago in West Virginia. Divine performed like some sort of gymnastics deal or tumbling, or know more about that. So Tuesday's best, the two best players that should go in the football Ring of Honor next for Texas Tech after the ones they put in. You got thoughts, comments? I'll have some comments on the people that are utilizing already for political purpose what's going on in Ruidoso. I'll have some hard comments here in a minute. And then you guys can share that on Facebook and YouTube and everything else. And I hope you do. We love the replay people. We love you guys. And you share it and say, oh, my God, did you hear what Hyatt said at the 25 mark or whatever? So who would be your guys? I look back over the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and there are a lot of different guys and a lot of really good players. Phil Tucker would probably be out of the 60s on the top of my list, All-American offensive lineman. That out of that grouping, he was really good on some bad teams. Sort of like, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes. But Phil Tucker might be a guy that I would be looking at. James Hadnot, certainly. A great running back, a great tight end, carrying the offense on his shoulders. I would have him in there. I would have Allison and Reeves as your next two quarterbacks. The drop-down quarterbacks after that would probably be Billy Joe Tolliver, who was really, really good at Texas Tech. And all he did was play, a long time in the NFL. I would not have a single quarterback of the Leach era on the list right now. How dare you? How dare you? No, I wouldn't. Would have a single one on. Right now, I said. Harold will get in, don't worry. Hanspard's got to be in the mix, but not before James Gray, in my opinion. James Gray should go in before Hanspard. Hanspard and Morris. Well, Morris, he was a druggie and he didn't do anything in the NFL except almost win a Super Bowl MVP. We can't put him in because of other things. Okay. And then we get into the whole problematic receiver aspect of the 2000s. So I sit there and I go, okay, who would I put in next if I were sitting there with the ballot? Phil Tucker and Hadnot might be my next two. Timbo off the United Supermarkets chat line there on YouTube. We love our YouTube people. Marcus Cohen, possibly. I would love to put Marcus in, but no, not in the Ring of Honor. He's a Hall of Fame guy. He's not a Ring of Honor guy. Great player, not a Ring of Honor guy. Maybe the best in the last, from like 75 to 2000. Maybe one of the best athletes ever to play football for Texas Tech. Maury Uford, he's the punter. He can't be in. Sorry. Love you, Maury. D-Way, I'm in the Air Force Band, so we play funerals and a lot of other public events. Mike Pence spoke on behalf of Trump because it was shortly after January 6th event stuff. Interesting. Will Brian Jensen or a Don Williams type ever? No. I have no idea about Harry Carey at Wrigley, but no, there'll be no Jensen or certainly no Don Williams. Don Williams has never worked for Tech ever on anything. And Jensen, I don't know. Jack, rightfully so, has his name on a couple of things out of Texas Tech and a banner at the arena. He's the only media type, the only media member. Jack Dale is the only media member who should be recognized by Texas Tech for anything and everything. Loliki Bangawanga. Yes. If only to hear Jack Dale say on his call-in show, Loliki Bangawanga. Saul would be my next on the honor pick. Chris, it's a good one. I would have him still a little farther down the list than some guys from 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Certainly would. Would have been nice. We could have gotten Monte Yeager's son, Jalen Yeager, to play for Tech instead of TCU. Yeah, Jalen Yeager, the great-grandson, the great-grandson of Chuck Yeager, who played pretty well. Would have been a hand. Would have helped out, Yes, maybe. Yeah. Old Monte Yeager, though. Golly. Brent Musburger talking about Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier. Part of that deal. It was a great story day there in 1995 in Happy Valley. And it's not often. I mean, that's one of the things. You would have thought that Chuck Yeager, and that family would have spent more time with Texas Tech over the years, with Monte Yeager being a part of the program. I respect the fact that they kind of stood in the shadows and really didn't try to leverage who they were to overshadow Monte Yeager and what he was doing at Texas Tech. Got him a ring with the Broncos, I believe. 1, 2 rings, can't remember. Maybe 2 rings. Monte Yeager. All right, real quick, my thoughts on Ruidoso and what's going on. You're already seeing people trying to leverage it on climate change, on government policy, on everything else. They're saying this is another example. Look at the fires in California. Look at what's going on in Ruidoso. It's burning up and crisp. It's all because you drive a vehicle that uses gas. Okay, no, it's not. It's what happens. It burns. That area burns. Forest burn. We have really a couple of different things that have gone on, but let me say this loud and clear so people understand. Most of the problems we have within our national forest lands and the areas surrounding national forest lands in the western United States are the direct policy of the United States Bureau of Land Management, the United States Forestry Service, and the United States government, along with state governments. Let it burn. Here's the problem. You don't let it burn. It used to burn. It used to take care of itself in a self-policing management factor for hundreds of years. It would burn. Lightning strikes would happen. Fires would start. The underbrush would burn. It would grow, whatever. But now we move into these areas. And we move into Mother Nature's backyard, and we try to inflict upon her our will. And we don't want anything to burn because we don't want really nice houses to burn. We don't want all this stuff to happen, so we put a no-burn policy in. And then we do a couple of different things after that. Not only do we put a no-burn policy in, by that I mean we put out every little bit of fire. We don't do backfires. We don't do fire control. We don't do any of that. And then the areas where we live, in those areas, we don't do xeriscaping. We don't clear out land around it because we want it to look cool. We want it to look nice. We want to look like we're living in the forest. Well, when that happens and you live in the forest is going to burn. So when you hear the people genuflecting about what's going on in Ruidoso, California, and other places, know this, and they'll blame you for causing the drought. They'll blame you for climate change. The climate hasn't changed. The flora and the fauna has not changed. We've changed it, not from up there, but from down here in how we control it. And if you want to live in those areas, you have to understand harsh reality. It may burn up. There's nothing anybody else can do about it, and it may burn. It's not your fault or anybody else's fault from the standpoint of climate change or you driving this car, that car, CO2 or no, that's not it. That's not it at all. I pray for the people that are up there, be safe. The firefighters be safe, and I pray for the people who are losing their homes, their business, and otherwise, that hopefully they can be made whole in a different way. But don't allow these things to be co-opted by the liberal left, who are going to lie to you about things and make you feel bad about you. It ain't your fault. All right? It's not your fault. That's my thoughts tonight on a Tuesday. We'll be back. Hopefully, we can get the website to function properly tonight or tomorrow morning. That's my goal. We couldn't post any hot links or anything. If you want to do something for us tonight, you want to do something really cool, here's what you can do. Share this on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere you're watching. Replay people, we love you. Hit us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. Thank you, Arctic Air. The Arctic Air studios are perfect tonight. Boot City, United Supermarkets on the communication lines. Otherwise, we don't get David Collier on YouTube saying Loliki Bonga Wonga. And then the Shropshire Agency and South Plains College. Man, we got so many great sponsors. It's amazing. It's amazing how many great ones we have. And if you want to sponsor, hey, get a hold of me at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter. See you soon.